and we'll start on liquidity. So very local liquidity. We've got a tiny amount at 104.5. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big, but just now they have removed these 500 blocks of Bitcoin and placed them right below the price to hold it. So it looks like a big move is brewing, potentially to the upside. Um, yeah, because they literally just pulled those and put them a little bit higher. So yeah, very interesting. In terms of liquidity, we've got a little bit just below the wick from when's that? 3 days ago, Tuesday, or it might actually be different time zones for you guys, but 100.2k. Let's call it 100k, 100k, and we also have a little bit of local stuff at. If I just, I think I go down to the 3 day. Yeah, very very local stuff at 104.5, 103.5, 104. Wait, what? 105.3, 105.4. Sorry. Last but not least, we'll look at the long to short ratio. So yeah, longs were coming in yesterday, which was sketching me out a little bit. But since then, we've had a lot of shorts come back into the market. So potentially, I'm actually very happy that I took half of all my shorts off that I did in the Pro 6 post. And yeah, my stops at break even. So if we do break out, I'm not going to lose any money on my trades because they're already massively in profit. So yeah, it's potentially looking like we could break up unless we start seeing these shorts taper off and the longs come back in. But 58, 58.5% shorts in the market. You know what that means. Just rocket fuel for up. So yeah, um, let me change to the charts now. Change stream, change stream. Alright, all good. Let me just close my Google Chrome. Fast wick down anywhere today is surely a bid. Yeah, you're 100% right. Especially on the lower time frames. If we get a wick into the band or onto a support. Any decks you would recommend for trading? Hyperliquid, the best one out there. Hyperliquid is the best one out there. Someone was talking to me about Bluefin, which is on Sui yesterday, but I have not used it. I just used, yeah, tired of Kex. I really like Hyperliquid, but I only use it for 3x cross on a lot of positions. So I'm very comfortable with 3x cross, with using just Hyperliquid for 3x cross, and the reason why is because I'm very comfortable with having quite a lot of my liquidity in there because it's DEX and it's connected to my MetaMask. So fine, that's what I'm doing. I don't think I've really tried out many others. You can obviously try out Max's, but is it a DEX? Yeah, Alpha.exchange. I think it's a DEX as well. But yeah, let's have a little look. So, we have not closed a daily candle below February, which is very, very interesting. Holding that level very nicely. I also said yesterday that if we wanted to short this, we'd want to see a 4 hour close below this low, which is at 101.7. We haven't got that, and we've currently come up and tested the weekly open. So it's just looking very. It's just looking very squeezy at the moment. I would like to see what the combination bands, how tight they are, especially on the 4 hour. And maybe on the daily as well. Yeah, they're going completely straight. So very interesting. We are in the daily one though. Hmm. You know, I'm still leaning more towards downside, just because of the daily chart. Potentially, we've got some bearish divergence. We've got W reversal, wick into the band. It's still at the top. We're still very overextended, and I think we still will see 94, 95. But it's potential that if we get a 4 hour close or a daily close above the weekly open, which is going to be right where we close underneath here, that we just moonship off. We could just absolutely moon it, but ooh, ETH and ETH Bitcoin up on the day, which is very nice. This is kind of what you want to see for a rotation. In terms of the lower time frames, again, there's it's probably best to just play the range, and the range right now is sort of like pretty much exactly the same area that we short, 104.6 to 105.3, and then down here at 102 to 101.3. And that's all I would be doing right now. I would, if we get up into here, potentially you could take a short. If we get down into here, potentially you can take a long. Just with your stops above and beneath, and then we'll just wait because yeah, I would like to get into a long now just to see, just seeing how many shorts there are in the market. So potentially if we come back down to February again and get that like a wick below into this structure, maybe like 102k, I might take a little stab at a long just so I'm exposed to both sides because I'm only in a short at the moment. But yeah, um, we'll see if those orders on the order book get hit as well because they are potentially holding the price up. Likewise, if we get above the weekly open and some sustained price action above, then maybe I might even stab along as well. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. That's my view. Hasn't really changed since Tuesday. I'm still potentially expecting more downside. Yeah, 3 days a bit cooked. The weekly has room to run, and we have closed above February. And this bottom band's starting to arc up, so this weekly's still bullish. Got a lot of room to run actually. But it could just do like one or two weekly candles down into here, and then we get do that. Get 120. That'd be giga bullish. That would literally be the inverse wanger. I know we don't like that, but you know, smiley face. But yes, that is the Bitcoin. Now, ETH Bitcoin seems to be holding its low very, very nicely. It's also up on the day, which is kind of what you want to see for a rotation. Currently above the weekly open and this little hip, which is very good. We want to hold that at any cost. We've also back tested it on the daily, which is extremely incredible, almost perfectly back test. And we hit and bull dived two 4 hour candles ago. So yeah, basically this is probably going to do one more and then maybe break out, and we might see a little old rotation. So that would be good. That would be really good. And likewise, we'll probably see to 800 on ETH if that were to happen. ETH looks really good. I mean, we were saying this in the stream yesterday that this hasn't broken down. It actually looks really good. Um, if we could just go down to the hourly, we've held this really nicely, which was uh, resistance to back here, and now it's support. Currently testing the Q4, so something like that, and then we could long the Q4, or yeah, obviously you can long there. I think there's a demand zone just flashing up in here. Did you see that? Which is threatening to print, which is nice. But yeah, generally, I think alts are looking pretty decent and in a good place, even though I'm short on a couple. Yeah, see, look, it's just flashed back in if that closes above. As always, you kind of want to just wait for 4 hour closes. So this is obviously resistance at the moment. I'm expecting this to be rejected, possibly on the first try, and maybe come down again and hold the daily. But we'll have to see. I'm not taking any new big positions right now. Maybe some scalps on altcoins just because it's the weekend and alts will probably move on the weekend. But yeah, this is still looking good potentially for 2800. Also, we got we did get the touch on the 786. It loves to do that, and it also went in the band. That was a while after my stream. I think I was streaming here on that candle there or something. Yeah, that's really nice. If you see that on the hourly and it's up here, just long the retest, because then also if you go and check confluence on the 4 hour, the candle has a massive wick to the upside, and it's a bullish hammer. So yeah, I am actually not in any longs. I'm still on my half on my tier long, but I'm actually not in any longs at the moment. So maybe we could get exposed to a couple scalps on this stream. But yeah, like I said, ETH, I don't really want to rush into this at the moment on the Q4. Potentially looks really good though for 2800 up in here. Let's have a look at Solana. I'll just check the chat as well quickly. Hey Jack, where did you take a short? Okay, so I did a pro signals post on Tuesday, and I said I'm going to short Bitcoin 104k, 104.1 to 105.1. So I'm in that Bitcoin short. Took half of the profit at the bottom. Stops at break even. I can even jank my leverage up if I need the liquidity to put into another trade. I market smashed Sui. I tried to short ETH and Sol, which got stopped out, and now I've regained. I'm also in a Giga AVAX short from. Just bear with me while I'm also in a Giga AVAX short from about 26.4 ish, right up here, which I've also taken half profit out. And I'm expecting this, as it's gained and held the daily open now, to come up and test here in this band. Yeah, that's what I'm short on at the moment. I would have liked. It would have been nice if we caught that ETH long yesterday. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm currently short on those three things. The 50-minute setting on the Bollinger Bag looks scary accurate. MDX says all-time high before sub 100k. Does he? I mean, it's definitely possible with the amount of shorts in the market. You know, I'm a little bit stubborn, and for me, looking at the daily chart, I just can't ignore. I can't ignore this fact. So, one, let me just take all these levels off. There's just way too much stuff on this chart right here. We'll take that off. We'll take that off. We'll take that off. We'll even take this box off. Actually, we'll leave that box on, and we'll take the bands off right now. So we'll take that off as well. So what do we have on this daily chart? We have a low low. We have a Stuber pocket in between here and here, which is Stu's pocket, which we're right in right now, and we have a bear div on the daily time frame. Now, if I turn those combination bands on, we also have a W reversal wick into the band right on the AA6, and we're literally just above it. So, looking at the daily chart, for me, still screams downside to me, personally. That doesn't mean it can't start breaking up, especially with the amount of shorts in the market, but that's just my bias. It's just what I see. However, like I said, we want to see a close below February to actually get the confirmed breakdown. Right now, we just don't really have that. It just looks like it's going sideways, especially on the 4 hour. And we are at all-time high, no? Does he mean new all-time high? Maybe he meant new all-time high. Yeah, could be. Could be. Anyway, I'm still going to stick to this, just because. If we get a daily close above the weekly, maybe I'll start changing my opinion. And yeah, for the confirmed breakdown, we want daily close below Feb. Very simple. Just basically going sideways. And yeah, I filled a short here on the weekly open. So yeah, that's that. Hype. Ooh, hello. So, oh my god, Jesus Christ. This is really at the level to game. You would expect this to see a breakdown now. What you really want to see on this, okay, let me put it like this. This is the high that you want to break, that you're up against right now. If this candle now starts to wick down beneath here, what you're going to do is you're going to close the band. The band's going to go back to straight because this hasn't printed yet on the daily. The band's going to go back to straight with a huge liquidity wick, and we're super overcooked on the oscillator. So that would probably tell me that we're going to see a reversal. Right now, it looks really good though. On the 4 hour, we've gained above this and we've bullishly backtested it. So if this daily candle were to close like that and this starts to arc up, I think we might even see a breakout on higher, which is great because I'm still in a long. I've obviously taken a lot off, but I'm still in some of my position. Damn, that 4 hour is looking crazy. Jeez. Jesus. Yeah. Also, look at that. We're at heavy, heavy resistance right now. We're also at the Feb level, so this is also going to bear div on the 12 hour. It's obviously too preemptive to take a short, but it's looking. Yeah, no, I wouldn't short that just yet. If we get a breakdown below the daily open, then maybe, and we'll see how that daily closes. Let's have a look at Sui because I am in a short on Sui. And we'll take that off. Whoa, chill. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in a short from around here, or maybe even the retest failure. Again, we've made a new low. We're bearishly retesting levels. We are holding the daily at the moment. For this to regain upside priority, we need to reclaim this. Reclaim that now, and then potentially you could long that as support. Right now, I still think this is a little bit bearish. And like I said, I think I did a post that anywhere in here is potentially looking good for a short. And then I also said there was a very local one on the 15-minute. Might have been like around there. Yeah, it was literally probably that. This. Which has been tapped perfectly twice. So did anyone even take that? I didn't actually have anything set. Let me just go check my post quickly. Sui, I'm sure already, but retest of 3.91 to 3.96 or weekly open to yearly open. So 3.11 to 3.96. Yeah, that's quite a big area. 3.94 to 3.96 would have been way better if I was looking at the 15-minute in terms of the scalp. But again, yeah, I mean, the more we hit this, the more likely it is to break. But look at that. Did you just draw one level, have overlapping support resistance and a combination band, and you're able to pull out 4%, 3% twice in the last 15 hours is actually quite long, to be honest. Actually quite long, to be honest. But yeah, looking at this, if I turn off all the indicators, kind of looks like what it's doing down here, isn't it? Kind of looks the same, as in like we get another one, we go below, and then we like regain and then break out. No, sir. If we were to retest May and December on Sui and then even down here, I might potentially long this. That would be my target for my short. I think if we get one more like that, it will probably cap it off, and then next time we come up, maybe we'll get a hold and break out. Especially if ETH's gonna go for 3.3k, which I have been talking about for months, literally months, literally months. Anyway, anyone got any chart requests? Let me check the chat. Yeah, new all-time high, and if it does an SFP sub 95k, which setting is that specific Bollinger Band? So this is just combination band on 5 sensitivity, normal sense. So it's not actually a Bollinger Band, but it does incorporate Bollinger Bands as well. So when they get tight like that, it means a major move is coming. And when they go straight, you can use them as Keltner and Donchain, just to scalp out. It's really good for rangers. If you take your AI charting tools off, and you use the the 0.2 fib, the 0.5 fib, and the 786 fib, so just four, you can use it as a range. So you have the range highs where the top band is, the range lows, and then you have the 0.5 in the middle, and then you can even just turn on like support and resistance, and just scalp out any range you want. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks, Adrian. Do you look for oscillator to be at top or bottom to enter a trade? Yes. Yes, I do. But it doesn't have to be for you to enter a trade. So I actually did a write-up of the different levels of confluence that you can for a trade. And I also did testing just with the combination bands. So just with double wicks into the combination bands, like nothing else. It potentially does hit quite a lot where you see small reversals in price of like 1 to 2% before if it keeps trending down either way, up or down. But if you add like overlapping support resistance, Stuber fibs, combination bands, overbought oversold dots, divergences, you can get some really nice synergized setups and the W reversal on the Trendmaster. You can get some really nice synergies and confluence together, and it's just really good sometimes. But yeah, usually for a high confluence trade, I will look for the oscillator to be at the top or bottom. But it doesn't have to be. It can diverge. So for example, like here, we didn't actually get... Let's take these off. We didn't actually get the dot here. We just bear dived. Here to here. And there. And then we also double wicked into the band with a W reversal. So when we made this new low, so if you miss it here, because it's quite scary like catching a knife like this, especially in the band, especially in a daily band like this. If you look at that and then the next day you make a new low, just short the retest. We'll go to like a smaller time frame and short the retest. This is a great example, and that's why I'm expecting Sui to come down at least into here. Again, a nice little tippy top. But just note that when a coin is trending, it's not very good, because for example here we actually even got this on the oscillator as well. So yeah, when a coin's trending up, it will just rip through it. My laptop's actually being nice and fast today. Let's go. No lag as well. I'm in a better room. I've moved rooms in the same place. Band sensitivity, yes, default. It's potential if you could actually test out 4 and 6, but I just use 5 because yeah, it's just the default. Can you please elaborate more on how you look at combination bands and warnings on trend? So the strategy simply goes like this. A wick into the combination band potentially means that you could reverse. If you pair that with W reversal and a close below, it heightens the chance that you're going to see a reversal. So this is just basically the stock the first two main ingredients of the strategy, the combination band strategy. Once you start to add Stuba fibs, overlapping support and resistance, you find that you can get areas of extremely high confidence where you could potentially uh, put some bids in for a trade. And sometimes you can even catch like Pico tops. Like here, there was probably some resistance around there at some point. Um, and yeah, to elaborate a little bit, you must wait for the candle to close because I will show you this back on hype. If you do not wait for the candle to close, it will change the combination, man. So if this candle now wicks down below, the band will go straight again. So if you take a long, if you look at the band and go, oh, it's arcing up, but probably we're looking like we're going to break out, and you take a long here, and then the candle wicks down before the daily close, it will be straight, and then it will just look like a wick into the band, and we'll be super cooked on this oscillator as well. It might be time to make an updated video. I actually used to use Scout Pro as well, and they've actually re-updated this. They've put the reversions back. I've been asking this for ages. Yeah, so you can also use Scout Pro, which I don't even use anymore. But this is another layer of confluence that you can get in the band. So, oh, it needs an update as well. So look at this right here. And usually the good ones are reversion probability and RSI. So if you see, you can also sometimes you also get like 10 different ones if you just hover over it. Sometimes when the W reversal is there, you can't. Yeah, you can see which one. Stochastic as well is really good. Commodity channel is not very strong, so I don't really take that into account. But yeah, these ones can actually be quite good. I might have to incorporate this again. Let me update. Alright, I'll mess around with this another time. Trail type, trade data, no. They put volume flow. Oh, very interesting. Wait, can I get a collated RSI on this? Sorry, a collated EMA? No, okay. Very interesting. Looks like they've done something nice with this. I'll have to mess around with it. So yeah, I used to also use Scout Pro as well until they basically took these like these arrow greenhouses off or red houses, which you hover over and it tells you what, and just incorporated it into the longer shorts, and it was awful actually. So yeah, cool. Lol, need to clean it up. Are their basic settings to adjust further? Um, yeah, it looks fine to me. If you So what I do is I don't use Algo Master because I don't want the buy or sell signals. What I do is I put Trend Master on specifically so I can have the W reversal as well. So like this, I have Trend Master and it's simply just for combination bands and reversal warnings. I literally have everything else off, and that's just my bands. And then I don't really use the volume ones. The volume one's cool, but I'd rather use the actual volume delta for it, so I keep them separate. And I've got the volume delta on this one, so I can just I prefer this one if I want to look at volume. So yeah. But anyway, someone asked me to look at Sol. me just have a drink. My throat's still mashed. We go again tonight. Yeah. So Sol, this thing looks. This thing looks fine. This thing actually looks fine. It looks bullish. The reason I say that, hidden bullish, continuation of the trend. New high, sorry, low, new high, fib pull, hold in the pocket, hold at the daily open, and also a higher low. So this looks good. This looks really good actually. Let's just check the daily quickly. I mean, obviously the daily's bear div, but that doesn't really mean anything. It also looks fine. It's potentially just holding this block as support, which is this swing down here. I don't see why this can't go higher. It's got room to run on the weekly as well. If we go down to the lower time frames, you simply just would like to get a long in between here, and your stop can be around 2% just below the low, which is fun. Maybe use 4x on this if you're longing a little bit higher. On the lower time frames, oh, my laptop's being so fast tonight. Today is so good. We've got a few liquidations just underneath the November level on this like really small time frame. We didn't quite take them. I need to update that indicator as well. Let's have a look on the hourly where they are. Yeah, just below November. Local ones just above the weekly open. Interesting. I would say potentially long this from the daily open down to the low at 167, especially in this. And then your stop will be a break of June. This is what you don't want to lose now, that low, because that's a higher low from here. Low, high, higher low. Lose it, buy, gain it, and go up to here, which is where the liquidation pocket is. Liquidity. Liquidity. It's all about liquidity. So yeah, your basic settings are fine. I don't know what if you got a VWAP in the middle. Someone actually told me that VWAPs work really well with the strategy, but I don't really have any experience with VWAPs. I was trying to contact Jaybird to potentially get him to show me a little bit about it and maybe incorporate it into a strategy, but we just never really got there. We're in different time zones, and you know, now he's not even here. But yeah, great, thanks. Is it called reversions in the settings? Which part? Sorry. Oh, for Trendmaster, it's called It's called reversal warning. This one. You could even add reversals and reversal pivots, but I don't think they're really that different to the W reversals anyway. So, just in the interest of keeping my charts as clean as possible, I don't have them on, but you can obviously just mess around with them. I used to have them all on, but so for example here, there's one over there. There's one there, but yeah. That's printed one there. That's printed a W there. Maybe an interesting backtest to do, potentially. I don't really know what pivots are as well. I don't think they're that different. But yeah, let's just leave it on for now, actually. And do some live testing. But yeah, the long was literally just before I started my stream on Sol. It's kind of gone right now. So yeah, let's look at some other stuff. So yeah, the reversion band strategy does work really well on the lower time frames as well, especially on stuff like PopCat where you can easily identify levels to long because it adheres to it just adheres to levels like really well. So whoops. For example, I've just very simply put a 15-minute swing on here from this low. The reason I put that is because we have overlapping supply. If I turn this on, what do you know? I didn't even have to say it. Bang. But then again, you did get one here, a little retest, rejection, failure, back below, here, into the week daily open, retest, failure. Then we actually broke it, started arcing down underneath. This is the new one. If you get another thing like that, it's potential that you could take this again. Ooh, lag. Excuse me. But yeah, Popcat is very fun to trade with the strategy. You can have a lot of fun. Whoa, what's happening? Chill. I'm starting to lag. Is my screen... Yeah, my screen's still switching. VWAP adjusts, he adjusts it manually. Captain Bumpy. Captain Bumpy is not in here, right? I met Captain Bumpy at the party. He's like a bloody pirate sailor. And he's wham as well, he's massive. On the Scout Pro, I've just got this on basic settings. Oh, automatic, yeah, and then turn off. Hey, they took everything off. I think they have taken some of my feedback. Oh, yeah, take all of this stuff off. Take off auto range style. Take off scout band style because it's just clutter. It's just visual clutter. And then everything else is just normal. I have put hidden on. I don't think you need it, but should be an automatic setup for it soon. I think, yeah. The little houses. The little houses are called scalp reversion. Yeah, there must be reversions. I think it's just part of the indicator. It's literally just the indicator is the greenhouses and the long and short. Unless I'm misunderstanding what the question is. Free up now that it's institution dominated space work really well. Yeah, I might have to look into it. I've heard it's really good. I've heard a lot of people use it as well. I've heard it's a good one. But yeah, let's have a look at a couple other things potentially, and we'll do some story time. Damn, it's already been an hour. Jeez, jeez. So yeah, Render actually hit a really nice short on this pocket as well. And what do you know? What do you guys know? So the way I actually like to trade now, and I'll just give you an example, is because Stu's literally the guy. Okay, Stu's the goat. He's like the coolest guy I know. He's like just kite surfs and just smokes a bunch of weed and fucking has the best trading system probably ever invented. Maybe, I don't know. That's a big say, but yeah. So I've obviously started to use the fibs and stuff like that. So if you get a break of structure, I've obviously just incorporated my strategy with his. And the main two elements of that is basically just a break of structure, so new low or new high. Pull the fib from the high to the low. 786, 886 is the pocket. If it's a support or resistance or a major level, even better. Turn the combination bands on. If you get an overlap, it's high conviction trade, especially if you get oversold or overbought on the oscillator. Extremely high conviction trade. And yeah, that's basically the essence of the strategy. Everything else is just add-on. So yeah, you can literally use that on any time frame as well. And if you're a person that doesn't like to long short into knives, so for example, some people will not be comfortable shorting up into this. You just short the retest, literally right there, right there. But yeah, Render hit a really nice one, so I'm gonna take that off now. Create some giga resistance up here in the weekly open. I still think this looks a little bit bearish. Like if we were to come back up to the weekly open, I wouldn't be that keen on us breaking out, even though we are holding this level right now. It would have been quite a nice long in there in that support zone as we bull dived down from there and we bull dived up. Again, potentially a short on the weekly open in here. But the altcoin market's not looking that bad. It's just some things are slowly sort of breaking down or retesting new highs. Like again, this daily chart looks pretty bullish actually, and we're still holding levels. No, no. What did I just take off? Like that hasn't broken down yet on the daily. That's actually just retested this high. But yeah, I would like to see like a small rechase in the altcoin market. I think it would be healthy, and then a big breakout. Especially if we start seeing rate cuts, it's gonna get very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So, anyone looking at any trades or requests quickly? Not quickly, but because I don't really. It's Friday. I'm kind of just a little bit more chilled. Potentially not really looking at taking any like massive positions at the moment. I would like to get exposed to maybe a long on an altcoin one, just to balance out the three shorts that I have on Bitcoin and Sui and AVAX. For example, yeah. Oh, holy lag. But only as a hedge, really. For example, because if this was to come back up now into the weekly open, I don't think it would break through. I'm not sure if it would. Yeah, nears. Also looking potentially good for a short as well in here. So what I'm going to do actually to round off this session is I'm literally just going to set alerts probably on the weekly opens because it looks like the combination bands, the hourly ones, are coming in on a lot of alts around the weekly, and they've also, some of them have made new lows, but they haven't retested hourly support resistance. So this could basically bounce from here, from the daily, up into resistance and then do one more down. And it looks like quite a lot of things are looking similar. Yeah, same. That's starting to get really tight, by the way. Extremely tight. Holding its daily though, not too bad. How's Tau doing? I'm starting to lag. Is my stream's fine? EOS, please, bro. I have not heard that name in a long, long time. See you later, Emerson. That's my fucking guy. Emerson's literally at every single one of my streams, you know, for the past year. What a legend. And he's from UK as well. EOS, sure thing. By the way, Tau looks like it's failing its yearly at the moment. This looks a little bit ropey, actually. I would just like to see a slight rollover in the market, just to retest these levels. Oh my god, the lag. Just to retest levels, like nothing crazy, but yeah, I think it just would be giga healthy. Yeah, you said EOS, didn't you? OG EOS. This actually looks quite good. Yeah, this looks decent. Got a swing in there. No, that second one was not plotted right, sir. You're in the swing to hold. You're obviously a little bit oversold on the overbought on the oscillator. The weekly has room to run. The weekly actually looks quite good. You got a close above there. This doesn't look that bad. That's a weekly. That's a weekly level. You want to close above 8.5 to 8.7 ish on the weekly slash daily. If we just put those back on, we're also getting supported by the yearly. So very simple on this. Oh my god, the lag. New low. So let's just do the old Stuberente. No. Oh my god. I'm lagging so much. Someone's downloading some crazy giant porn on this Wi-Fi. So yeah, here's a good short zone. Also, the rejection of the 618 could potentially be a short. And then if you come back down and hold here, you could long that. That's what I think. Actually looks kind of interesting. If you get rejected from here, this low swing, now, you could potentially long that because it's the yearly open. And what's the stop on that? If you longed the yearly open, the risk would be fine. You could put it at 2%. If you try to long the daily or the Feb, you're pushing a bit unless you're on 3x. Mhm. But yeah, not too much else to say. I think, like I said, um, alerts on the weekly opens where the 1 hour bans are coming in for me. Um, ooh, Arve's actually breaking out at the moment, and this is what I mean about the combination bans as well. Is that if a coin is just trending heavily up, so this is retested December, came up again the weekly open, the daily, even though it's in the band with a, I mean, it's not a W reversal, but and then cooked on the oscillator, we look like we're just breaking out just because simply because of price action. So price action will always be king. That's looking cool. You could even break out along that maybe. Kind of missed it. It was like in the middle. It was just at the start of the stream. You could have long that daily open too. Yeah. So I've got an alert on Link. I'll have a look at some other stuff and maybe put it in a post, in a Friday post of things to watch on the weekend. That's another one that could retest its weekly in the band. So yeah, general plan of action. If we come down a little bit, I'm going to take this off as well because this is already fine. If we come down a little bit, I might be tempted to hedge along, but it will just be a hedge. It's only because I'm short. And so yeah, I think I'm going to stop my recording, but I'm going to stay here for